Well, we go back to Minnesota. Yeah. And the retarded governor is on full display.
Whoa, wait a minute. There, that's better.
Tim Walz, you know, the tampon one,
Fuck off.
is confused why the Trump administration stepped in
Hold up.
and had an illegal who happened to be a pedo
What?
removed from his state.
Stupid and retarded.
I'm Jez Berganza on this. Listen to me. The reason he was removed because A, he was illegal.
It's true.
B, he raped children that you pardoned.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Kabish?
You stupid fuck!
And is what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jez Berganza, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Thursday. Of course, facts, common sense, and salt. Another episode for you. Well, let's see. Didn't we have a ICE-involved shooting of a innocent, victim? What was it? Was it Minnesota? No. It was Maine. But we're gonna go back to Minnesota. Because of course you had innocent people who tried to use SUVs and damage and jump in cops' faces and get shot because they couldn't just keep their hands on themselves. Anyway, Minnesota. Tampon Tim is at it again. Timmy seems to be confused lately. He's confused why the Trump administration stepped in and had an illegal who happened to be a pedo removed from his state that he pardoned. Wow. It's Tim Walz. Should you expect anything less from the tampon one? Wow. And here we go. This coming out of the New York Post. Tim Walz baffling response to Trump administration deporting pedo illegal immigrant that he pardoned. Tim Walz offered a baffling response on Tuesday, while the Trump administration deported an illegal migrant convicted of raping a 10-year-old girl was pardoned by the Minnesota governor just last month. Did this make us any safer? Did it make the children that are left behind any more stable? Walz asked, days after Secretary Marco Rubio, yes, the savage one, stepped in and revoked the legal status of Tu Long Vang, the 42-year-old from Laos. Did it improve the idea that we can all be judged by our worst day? Be judged by our worst day. And I want to be very clear that these are horrific crimes. They often are, he added, according to local TV. The Department of Homeland Security on Friday announced that deportation of Vang, a convicted child sex offender who had been pardoned by Walz just last month. In a statement, the White House confirmed Rubio's termination of Vang's legal status and deported him back to Laos. Under President Trump, criminal illegal aliens who rape children will be found, arrested, and removed, and Democrat politicians will not stand in our way, the statement read. Vang entered the U.S. in 1994 and was granted legal status by the Clinton administration, according to DHS. In 2006, he was convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault after he repeatedly assaulted a young girl between 2002 and 2004. The young girl was just 10 years old when Vang first assaulted her. He once offered the young victim $10 in exchange for her silence. $10. Vang justified the assaults as a cultural thing, because of course it is, when interviewed by police, and added that the young victim was just as guilty as him and should be arrested because she brought it on. What a piece of shit. Following his conviction, the Department of Justice immigration judge offered a final order of removal from Vang in October of 2006. He was arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in 2025, and a district Minnesota judge offered Vang's release from ICE detention in February of 26. So from 2006, he was ordered to leave the country, and it took 20 years to get him. Wow. Convicted child rapist was pardoned by, of course, Minnesota pardon governors, which consists of Walz. Minnesota Supreme Court Chief Justice Natalie Hudson should be fired, should be thrown off the bench. And Attorney General Keith Ellison, what a piece of shit, also should be impeached and charged. During the pardon meeting, Vang took responsibility for sexually assaulting the young girl more than 2 decades ago, according to local news. What I did was wrong. It was a serious crime. She was a child, Vang told the board. If I'm sent away, we will lose everything. My children will lose their home, and they will lose their education. They will grow up without a father, he cried. Vang's victim, who remains unidentified, and rightly so, wrote in a letter that she had forgiven him for his actions. Hell to the no, which started when she was, which stated when he was 18 years old. While addressing the board on the decision to pardon the convicted offender, Walz incorrectly stated that, just remember, both were minors. Following Vang's deportation from Trump's administration, DHS acting Assistant Secretary Lauren Biss ordered a scathing statement on how the convicted sex predator could be pardoned by Walz and his government. ICE deported Tong Vang, an illegal alien convicted child rapist. The monster repeatedly sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl, she said. Tim Walz pardoned this sex criminal in an attempt to allow him to remain in the country. These are criminal illegal aliens, and his sanctuary policies, politicians are protecting them. We will always put the safety of the American people first, she added.
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Vang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence, and he called his heinous crimes a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed from the United States. Because of our action, this foreign criminal will never pose a threat to any American, ever again. Americans must never be forced by their elected leaders to live alongside foreign sex criminals who have no right to begin with to reside in our country. This administration will always stand with the American people and defend them from violent criminals.
My thoughts. The fact of the matter is that Tim Walz not only is a tampon moron, but he is a fucking creep. This guy should have been thrown out of fucking office. But no, he's still there, making decisions, signing shit into law, and fucking wrecking the state as usual. But this goes beyond protecting douchebags who decide to use their cars as weapons against ICE agents. This goes beyond protecting a male nurse who did nothing wrong except jump in the face of ICE, he happened to be, strapped at the time with clips. And of course, prior to that was doing damage to ICE vehicles. And sadly, he around and he found out. But yeah, they're innocent victims. Another innocent victim was this Vang dude, it wasn't just me. It was her. She was guilty. She egged me on. She did these things. She insinuated the situation, and I just complied. What a piece of fucking shit. You don't just put this guy in prison. You don't try to rehab him, as I said before with others. You don't remove him from the country. You remove him from the fucking planet. That's what you do. You make him go away permanently. You throw him in the hole. You throw the hole away, then you grab the hole, you douse it with gasoline, and you light it on fire, and then whatever's left, you throw more gasoline, and you burn the shit out of it. That is what you do. That is what you do with pedoistas. You destroy them from the planet. You make them go away. You wipe them away from existence because they're worthless. They're trash. They're human trash who's done nonstop destruction to our little children. And yet, Tim Walz had the balls, literally had the balls to set this dude free, to run him on the streets in Minnesota. Thank God that Rubio stepped in and wrecked this shit along with Trump and got this piece of shit out of the country. Now, we're going to see how long he's out of the country. Was he delivered to Laos prisons? Was he delivered to their government to put this piece of shit in prison in Laos? We're going to find out. We're going to find out if this piece of shit doesn't try to get out of the country somehow and make his way back to the U.S. Fucking Tampon Tim, what a piece of shit. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.